I'm very excited to be presenting information on Google's Authorship program in this video tutorial. If you're not already familiar with Google Authorship, then this is very important. I can't stress enough how you should take advantage of this because there are some very significant SEO implications involved with using Google's Authorship. And so what I want to do in this tutorial is walk us through how to set up Google Authorship and then of course what benefits it has for you. So let's go ahead and start there. I want to show you what does happen when you have correctly set up Google Authorship. What you're doing is you are linking content on your website to a Google Plus profile that you've created. Now, if you don't already have a Google Plus profile, it's very simple to set that up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But before we go into that, I want to simply show you the result that Google Authorship can have on search results that display in Google. So what I've done is a simple search for RapidWeaver video tutorials, and I have RapidWeaver Classroom available here as a search result. And you'll see the link to the website, but immediately below that you'll notice that there's a photo, and this is a picture of me. This picture comes from my Google Plus profile, and then you can see a byline. It says by Ryan Smith. It mentions that I'm in 25 Google Plus circles, and then it even provides a link to more content that I've created on the web. And then you have the standard description of the page below that. Now the significance of this is that search results with a photo of a person tend to stand out more when we have an entire list of results available to us. People are more likely to click on a link to a website that has someone's photo because it lends credibility to the validity and the value that that website possesses. And so it is very helpful for you to have a Google Plus profile with your photo included in search results. People are more likely to select your link opposed to others that don't have a photo alongside. And so that's the significance of using Google's Authorship program. In addition to that, when somebody clicks on your search result and spends some amount of time on your website, so let's say for example they click into a blog page and read your blog entry. If they spend several minutes on that entry reading your website and then they come back to Google, Google will automatically list more results from your website directly below. And so I've gone ahead and done that so you can immediately see the result. You can see that not only does it list the main link for the search term that I searched for, but then it continues to provide more links to different pages of my website where it says more by Ryan Smith right here. And so that's obviously very significant because it's not just listing one link to your website, it's going to list multiple links when someone comes back to Google. And the way that Google does that, it basically times how long somebody spends reading the page that it originally linked to, and based on that information it decides if it wants to present more links to your website to that visitor. And so that's another significant benefit to Google's Authorship program. And so now that you've seen the value and the result that Google Authorship can have on your search results, let's take a look at how we set this up. So I'm going to next go to my Google Plus profile. Now Google Plus is a free service and you need a Google account to set this up, but once you have created a Google Plus profile, you simply come into your Google Plus profile and you choose the edit button here. And so where I am at the moment is I'm under the profile link on the left, and then you would want to click edit profile. Now what you absolutely need to do is you need to change your profile photo. And so what you need to place here is a legitimate headshot of yourself. It cannot be animated, it needs to be clear. And so you need to go ahead and post that to your profile, and then I would suggest going ahead and filling out most of the content that it requests here below. And so the more information you have, the more legitimate your profile will be. And so that's important to go ahead and do a lot of that. You don't have to do it all. For example, you don't have to list your phone number or your email, but you should at least give a good amount of information about yourself. But then the key is to come down to the contributor to item. And so you can see that I'm hovering over that at the moment. Simply clicking into that brings me into the edit view for the contributor item. And what you want to do here is add a custom link. And so I have already 3 items listed here. I have my Google Buzz, and then I've got my RapidWeaver Classroom blog, as well as another website I operate called UI Web Alternative. There's a blog there. And I've gone ahead and I've linked specifically to the blogs because those are going to be more active pages of my website. You can just simply link to the main homepage of your website, and that's perfectly fine as well. But we'll talk in a few minutes about linking from the different pages of your website in RapidWeaver. So the idea here is simply to let Google know what website or websites that you contribute to. So if you operate different websites, then I would go ahead and list all of them here. If you are perhaps a guest contributor to another website that's not your own, you should go ahead and add that here as well. We'll talk in a few minutes about how you can link even from that website that you don't operate to your Google Plus profile. So what you need to do is go in and click Add Custom Link, and then you simply need to give it a label and a website address under the URL field. And so you can see my labels are here, and then the URLs will link specifically to those pages. And so you need to do that first. List any sites that you contribute to, and then save that information there. And so once you have created your profile, once you have set the contributor to links, and of course once you've edited your photo here, then you need to make sure and click on the Done Editing Item button, and then that will complete the editing of your profile. And so that is one step that is required in order for you to set up Google Authorship. The next step is to link from your website, your content, to this profile. And so what's going to be key is to have this information right here. You need to have the address of plus.google.com/ and then your profile number. You don't have to include the trailing slash and the page that you're currently viewing. You just need to go all the way through the number, which is your Google Plus ID, and then you need to copy that information. We'll use that to link from our content on our website. And so before we jump into RapidWeaver, where I'll show you how to do that, I want to first jump to RapidWeaver Classroom and show you how I've set this up at the moment. And so I want personally every page of my website to link to my Google Plus profile. That way, any page that Google indexes in my website can have my photo listed alongside. And so the way I've done that is actually through a footer menu that I've created. And so here in the second column for Learn More, at the bottom, I have a link that says Ryan on Google Plus. Now, when you create a link to your Google Plus profile, it's important that you use your name, and it can also be helpful to go ahead and put Google Plus in the text content as well. And so I've not used my last name here, but it's still okay, it works. So using the anchor text Ryan on Google Plus is what I've done, and then this links directly to the Google Plus profile. Now on my blog page, I'll click on blog. I also happen to have a short about me here on the right side, and then I have my name in this case linked to my Google Plus profile. So even though I don't specifically mention Google Plus, that's okay. I need to have my name be the anchor text, and so in this case it's linked. Now the importance of linking from, in this case, the sidebar of my blog is that every single unique blog page or blog permalink page will also include this information. So if I were to click into this blog title, that would take me to the permalink page. This is only this single post on this page, but still this content is here on the right, including the link to my profile. Now alternatively, you could create a byline at the end of every blog post. So if your website has a blog, then you could create a byline at the bottom. Now I just tag it with my first name here, but if you wanted to do it the correct way, you'd probably want to do your first and last name, and then you would want to link that to your Google Plus profile. So if you did that for every blog entry, that would ensure that every unique permalink page for your blog would also include a link. That way all of those blog pages that Google indexes will have Google Authorship attached to them. And so the point being that every page of my website has a link to my Google Plus profile, and so Google Authorship will exist on all of those pages. And so let's go into RapidWeaver for a moment and look at how we would set this up. So I'm not going to create a bunch of content, I'm simply going to show you how to create the link, and that's all that matters. And so in this case, I'm on a blog page, and so we're going to look at kind of what I was showing you just a moment ago. I'm using the page sidebar in this case, and I'm just going to type my name, and then I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to come down and click on the Add Link button. And this is where the settings are very important. First of all, we need to link to the URL for the Google Plus profile. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in that URL that I copied. Again, it's just the HTTPS and then the slashes and plus.google.com and then the Google Plus ID number there. Now it's key that you don't check open in new window, and I'll discuss that in a moment as to why we're leaving that unchecked. But before I do that, let's come down, click on the plus button under custom attributes. Now if your custom attributes aren't appearing, you'll need to click on this drop down arrow to open up that area, and then we want to click on the plus button to create a new line. And so for the name column where we see key, we want to change the key to REL, which means relationship. And then under the value column, we want to double click and remove value from there, and we want to put author. And so we are creating a relationship for this link that tells Google that you are the author, and it's going to point to the Google Plus profile. Now the reason that we don't want to check open a new window is because if we did that, it would actually create a different REL value that tells it to open that link in a new window, and it would therefore overwrite this authorship REL tag. And so it would completely eliminate that altogether is what would end up happening. Even if we left this here, checking this box will basically eliminate this. And so we don't want to check that box. We want that unchecked, and then we want REL and author for the value, and then we want to set the link. And so that's all you have to do from your website is create a link with your name, maybe mention Google Plus if you'd like, and then add the link to your Google Plus profile, and then the REL author value there, and then you need to publish. After that's done, you can verify that you've correctly set up authorship by going to the Google Structured Data Testing tool, and I will create a link to this through the members area on the page along with this tutorial. And from here, you can literally type in the website address for your published website. This is after you've made the changes to your website and republished. And once you do that, you can do the test. So add your website address here in preview, and then Google will let you know if you've correctly set up authorship. And so what you should see a preview of what your search result would look like with your picture included. And then under author, you should see verified. And it makes a note that authorship markup is verified for this page. It shows me the profile links here. And so if you have an error of some kind here, then you might need to look more into what you did wrong in setting this up. It might take some time for search results with your website to begin showing your image. I think for me it took 2, maybe 3 days before that began to happen. And there was a short period of time where my search results failed to display my image. There wasn't any apparent reason for that. Within another day or so it was back, and it's been that way ever since. So I'm not really sure what happened in that case, but it's been very helpful to see that result happen with the changes I made to my website using Google Authorship linked to my Google profile. And so I can hope that you see the significance and the benefit of doing this. It takes a little bit of time to set up your profile, but Google is really stressing the value of doing that, and it is really going to help to create better search results for people as they look for content, and make people feel more comfortable with visiting your website if they can see the face behind it. And so with that, go ahead and wrap up this tutorial, and thanks for watching.